All right, so today I am at the restaurant Essis. Essis is a brand new place here in East Legon, located at the corner of Jungle Road and Sunflower Road. And this place is really, really good because the chef, she loves to make sure that food is made using the freshest, most natural ingredients. She goes to the farm to pick some of the freshest vegetables and fruits to create the things on her menu. And she's really, really particular about using certain seasonings and spices to create the flavors that you taste in all of her dishes. So today, I am here to taste her infamous ramen. People keep talking about this ramen dish. Now, me, I'm always like, ramen, I don't know. But people are saying it is the best in town. So I'm coming here today to try the chicken ramen. So let's go inside and have a taste. And we'll also talk to the owner and find out exactly why she started this place and how things are going.
Keep it coming, so you spiral. Oh yeah, we keep it coming. Hey, keep it coming, so you spiral. And I know I'm gonna keep it 100. Keep it 100. So grateful for the life I live. Grateful for the fishes I see. I'm so grateful for the love I'm receiving. Love are the only thing, only for man I prefer. No need to stress, no, no. No need to stress, oh no, no. No need to stress no more.
I am so excited that this food is coming, this ramen that people are talking about across Accra. Like, everybody I know who's been here and had this ramen speaks so highly of it. So I am gonna sit here and wait for it to come. I ordered the chicken ramen. I know she has a pork ramen for people who like pork. Me, I prefer the chicken, so bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. I'm really excited about this. Woo! Yes. Right? Very exciting. Thank you. Thank you. Everything looked so fresh and so delicious. I'd never tasted eggs with pepper on it, so I was looking forward to doing that. So many chunks of chicken and vegetables. This is definitely going to be a hearty meal. Getting ready to dig into this. Trying to use these chopsticks. All right. The spice is perfect. Some people know that my mom loves to cook too, like really loves to experiment with food. And when she would make ramen, she would add all kinds of seasonings to it. She didn't use those packets that come with it, but she would add her own seasonings. And I can tell that this is using some of the flavorful seasonings to make it taste better than if you use just what's in the package. And then the fresh vegetables here. Now, let me try this egg. I have said before that I have never had egg with pepper on it. In Ghana, it's common, people are selling egg with pepper. I don't think I can pick these up with the chopsticks. So let me stop struggling and get a fork to do this one and see if I like it. Let's find out. Actually, it's not bad. I never imagined having egg with pepper on it, but it's not bad. The ramen is really good. The seasoning, And I asked for it to be spicy. So this has got some extra kick to it. Now the pieces of chicken in it, looks like it's grilled and has a little bit of sesame seeds added to it too. If you haven't been to Essis yet, you need to come. Yesterday I had the shepherd's pie, food heaven. Today I'm having this delicious ramen. I'm gonna start calling this place Food Heaven. Essis, Food Heaven. Oh my goodness. You know what? We have to take a moment to talk to the woman behind this brand. I should continue eating and just enjoy this meal, but I would love for her to come and join me so she can talk a little bit about this brand. And you know, I love the mural behind me and everything that she's doing with the fresh vegetables and the spices and the seasonings, and she makes really good food. If you haven't followed her, she actually has a couple of blogs, a food blog as well as a lifestyle blog, which she's been doing for a few years, and she's been an award-winning blogger here in Ghana. So venturing into this food industry is a really great step, especially after her food blog has been so popular in Ghana. So we're gonna talk to Naa in a couple of minutes. Let me continue eating this ramen. So I am here with the woman behind Essis Eatery, which is the latest restaurant to open here in East Legon. It is a quaint little spot that has some really delicious food on the menu. I just tried the ramen. Yesterday I had the shepherd's pie, and I'm convinced that this place is food heaven. I'm convinced. So I just wanted to talk to her a bit, and so you can hear from her, you know, what her journey is, why she started this business. And I also thought it was important to talk to her because we keep seeing so many stories about people, you know, from the diaspora who are coming to Ghana, starting businesses, doing great. But I want people to know that there are people in Ghana, Ghanaians born and bred, who are doing some amazing things, that are also running their businesses and are getting attention from customers and just creating great product and a great experience. And she's one of those people who's doing those things. So thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to talk to me and to share your story with my audience. Thank you, Naa.
Thank you, Ivy. I'm happy to be here.
So, Naa, you are an award-winning blogger, lifestyle blogger here in Ghana. A lot of people know you from the work that you've done online as a content creator, and you know, your photography and some of your. You do have a YouTube channel too.
Yes,
where you
I do.
Shared some
recipes.
About food, some of the recipes and different things. So, you know, tell us a little bit about your journey as a content creator and how you ended up shifting into being an entrepreneur for a restaurant business.
Thank you, Ivy. It's really good to have you here, and thank you so much for enjoying my ramen and my shepherd's pie.
Oh, of course.
I think you're my favorite customer right now. Anyway, so the journey has been long, yeah, but I don't think I saw myself having a restaurant like maybe 2-3 years ago until I did a few pop-ups, right? Yeah. Anyway, so my journey actually starts from, I used to work in an oil company, as you know, and after 6 years, they did a layoff and several of us were let off. And by then, I had already started my blog, which was a lifestyle blog. And the focus for me was writing about what makes us Ghanaians, you know, and especially me being a Ghanaian woman, I felt like there's so much stories we could tell around our food, our fashion, our culture, you know, all these other things that, you know, people do not know about, especially the new millennial, you know. Yeah, so my blog focused a lot on that, and people really found it really insightful, very useful information to know. And I also, you know, tended to share a bit of personal opinions on things I was going through. So writing on relationships and stuff, and people, you know, love. Who doesn't love love? Yeah, anyway, so yeah. And then after the layoff, I focused more on the blog and creating content, you know, working with some brands, you know, because traditional media had, you know, now it was evolving, or now digital media was becoming the thing. Social media was here, and like, you know, brands were looking for more exposure, brand awareness, you know, using bloggers, etc. So, because I started early, thankfully, I was one of the few ones they could count on to create amazing content for them. Right? And it's evolved into winning a few awards through blogging Ghana. I think Webfluential too. So I also became a sort of social influencer, you know, creating content not just on my blog but across social media, getting the followers, you know. And I think a lot of people kind of followed me because they loved my authenticity and, you know, how I told stories. And of course, recipes became a thing because who doesn't love food? But I felt like for me, my food journey has been more of exposure to other cuisines. So I tend to travel a bit, you know, and when you travel, of course, you have to eat what's around you. You don't travel with your kenke to UK and eat only kenke. I mean, there's so many cuisines, and I'm very adventurous with my palate, or I have a very adventurous palate. And I remember having my first ramen at a restaurant in Portsmouth, and I was like, wow, what is this? Like, oh, I just loved it. I was like, amazing stuff, you know. So all that exposure made me realize that, wow, like, there's so much we can do with our food, you know. So I come back to Ghana, I'm like, I'm looking for new places to eat. Then I added restaurant reviews to my blog, you know, eating around Accra, different restaurants, and writing about my experience. And people actually started, you know, sending me messages like, oh, they're looking for restaurants for, you know, a family of 3, or I have 2 kids. Is there any kid-friendly menu you can send to me? Like, so, you know, that also made me very influential in that space, you know. And then somewhere 2015, 2016, you know, aside, you know, the restaurant reviews, I started writing about or creating recipes using our local ingredients. So for me, it's like, we have amazing organic produce in Ghana. You know, what else can we do aside garden egg stew? Using the garden eggs, like, can we roast it and make a puree out of it? You know, because the world needs to know and appreciate, and also inculcate or adopt what we also have. Because if we are here having pizza in Ghana, like, you know, which is Italian, you know, why can't the Italians also, you know, adopt or get to know West African cuisine? You know, what are they so afraid of? Or are we not telling our stories enough? Anyway, so I started creating more recipes using local ingredients. So people started following me because I made it look very interesting. Like Gary Photo, for example, I would make kind of like a mincemeat patty to go with Gary Photo. And people were like, oh, I didn't think of that. Like, oh, that's interesting, you know. Yeah, so it really created, you know, a following for interesting recipes over the years. And people started like, ah, don't you have a restaurant? Like, we want to taste your food, you know. And I was like, oh no, you know. But then I ventured into pop-ups because I think
I've seen you at some of the pop-ups, some of the events and festivals.
Yes. So my first pop-up was at the Garden and Flower Show, and I think it was a drinks. Yeah, it was a drinks pop-up. So stand. So I gave the attendees, so people who came to the show, got to experience the difference between Asana and Meda. So Meda is the local corn drink made by the Ghans. And for some reason, I don't know what the historical context is, but for some reason, Meda is usually served at occasions like Ghana festivals or funerals or outdooring, so occasions only, you know. Meda. So that's, it's like Asana. So they look the same, but the taste, Meda is heavier. It's heavier in terms of there's more sugar, but the preparation is very, very similar. And Asana, which is more originally coming from the Volta region, but the Ghans also have their version. It's much lighter, and people even call it the Malta Guinness, you know, or local Malta Guinness. Yes. So that's what I sold as my first pop-up, and people were like, "Oh, they didn't know this drink!" Like, "Oh wow," you know, and they loved it, you know. And then my next pop-up too was more of had hot food, so I had oven roasted pork So in the clay oven, you know, the traditional clay oven, this pork was roasted in there, and we served it with yam fries. You know, Ghanaians love pork so much.
I know.
But when it's, yeah.
I'm so surprised. But
Yes.
it's a whole other conversation.
Yes. So we roast this pork in the clay oven.
Yeah.
And the flavor of, I don't know whether the earthy flavor from the clay just gets in there into the pork, and it's like amazing. Like you can't compare the pork grilled in the oven with pork roasted in a clay oven. You know, amazing. So people really loved it. Mm-hmm. So I did it a couple of times, and the next step I was like, what's up, you know? So I was actually home one day. I was like, let me make ramen, you know, let me make ramen and see what I can come up with. So I actually started making ramen at home, and my husband and I were like, oh, let's try this thing, see. So we tried it. I made a broth, which was like 5 hours long broth, and, you know, got my toppings and everything, and it was a hit. Like, we just couldn't believe, like, wow, this is amazing. And we're always having at home. But then I was like, you know, let me try a pop-up with ramen and see. And I remember when I did a very cute poster ramen pop-up. And I was like, this thing, why will people come? You know, because I didn't know.
Post and people came.
Yes. And I tweeted it out, and by then I had like 10,000 followers on Twitter, you know. So I just tweeted it out, and, you know, like, oh, hey, I'll be popping up at this place, ramen. So for me, my estimate was like 20 people should turn up. And I was shocked, like, I think about 100 people turned up, and the food got finished. And people were so upset with me, like, why, you know?
So how did you decide on which things would go on the menu? I know the ramen was obvious because everybody keeps asking for it.
Right.
And you had the pop-ups, you know,
Yep.
more than you expected showing up.
Yep.
How did you decide on the other items on the menu?
So currently, our menu is very different, right? It's very different from the traditional restaurants that people are used to. Like, we don't have fufu, we don't have banku, you know, it's not a typical Ghanaian restaurant. So it's more of a fusion of global cuisines with, you know, our local flavors, etc. So for example, we have dawa jollof on the menu, and it's dawa. I feel like it's not being explored enough by people in the South. When I talk about people in the South, people in Accra.
And for someone who doesn't know what dawa is, what is dawa?
So it's actually a fermented seed from the fruit dawa. So that's fermented, and you can actually use it in that seed state, or you can grind it up. So we have dawa jollof, which, you know, has the dawa bottle. Yeah, so which has the dawa powder, and it really gives it an amazing, incredible flavor. I first had it in tamale, and I was like, why are we not cooking our jollof with dawa as well, you know? And we also make it with a bit of shea butter oil, so that gives
it. People who don't know you can cook with shea oil. I was one of those people who didn't know until about 3 years ago. I learned that you can cook with shea oil.
So this is dawa or locust beans. So when you smell it, you see it has a pretty strong aroma. I was talking about our menu and how, you know, it inculcates like global cuisine. So we have our beef shepherd's pie, which you love.
That's shepherd's pie.
Yeah, yeah. It's a classic British dish, right?
Classic British dish, but you have made it.
Yeah.
With a more of a flavorful.
Yeah, it's more flavorful, exactly. Yeah. Because as Africans, Ghanaians, we love our flavor.
Yeah.
We love our spice, and it's not too spicy. It's just a perfect blend of, you know, other spices such as Mediterranean spices as well, cinnamon, nutmeg, pointia, wudiaba. You know, these are like our Ghanaian spices. So why don't we combine our spices with something from the Mediterranean, something from Nigeria, whatever, and then we make an amazing dish. So yeah, the shepherd's pie is amazing. We have smoked turkey wings, which was today.
I have to have those.
Yes, you must have it.
Which days is it that you have that one?
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays. Okay.
Yes.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
But I've already had the ramen, so my stomach is full.
So yeah, it's just trying new things, different things. Healthy food, you know, it's very important to me because, you know, I feel like healthy food, people just think of salads, you know. Healthy food is not just salads, you know. We just have to change how we cook to make our foods healthier, you know. Less oil, less salt, but bringing in more of the herbs, you know, which is where the flavor is, you know.
What's your favorite herb to cook with? Or is that a hard one for you?
That's tough. But I found... Okay, let's do top 3.
Okay.
Top three. Basil, rosemary, garlic.
Basil, rosemary, garlic. Okay.
And then onion. Last one. But like, I mean, the aromatics, you can't do without the aromatics. It's always the base, the onions and the garlic. That's always a constant. They always have to be there. But when it comes to the fresh herbs, like rosemary, basil, and garlic, or thyme. But thyme is not so common in Ghana, like when you're looking for fresh thyme.
Yeah.
You can get the dried thyme.
Yeah.
But with the fresh thyme, it's also a favorite. It's also amazing.
And the spices and seasonings make all the
Yes,
difference.
it does make the difference.
Knowing how to combine.
How to combine them, exactly.
Because that's the thing, is you can combine and it's a bad combination and then
It wouldn't
tastes
work.
horrible.
Yep.
You know? So
Yep.
I think that's what makes your food stand out from others, is the way that you're able to combine some of these seasonings.
Yes.
Because I've tasted some of your other foods before you open the restaurant.
Yes.
And it's always about the flavor of which seasonings you've chosen to put together.
So yeah, we are excited for Christmas, and those of you coming down this Christmas, trust us, this is where you want to be. Yeah.
You want to be here for sure.
Definitely.
Before we end, I wanted to ask you if you're still doing your food tours, because you were doing these walking food tours for people who want to learn more about some of the traditional foods.
And my cooking class.
Yes. Are you still doing that? If so, how can people reach out to you?
So we'll be beginning our cooking classes again, but we'll be using this space so that like it's easier. We can have like maybe 3 or 4 people signing up. So a few people have shown interest coming December, so we are excited for that. The food tours too, depending on how things are, if we can balance that with the tours, that would be great too. So yeah.
How can they get in touch with you?
Oh, so follow me on Instagram at Oyoo Kumodzi, and on Twitter Oyoo Kumodzi, and we're again everywhere. So, I mean, you can simply Google Oyoo Kumodzi. So we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. So you can reach me. Ivy will share my number with you. So.
Are you sure you want your number shared?
Oh, the business line. So
business
that's fine. So yes, if you have any inquiries around the cooking tours, feel free to send us a WhatsApp. And our food tours is pretty fun. We get to eat more of, you know, Ghana cuisines, like proper Ghana kinky, not the kinky that sticks in your palm. No, not that one. We're talking proper Ghana kinky that's tran. Come in your tran, fine. Oh, lunch one occasion come in Jamestown Ghana come in
Madam,
with
you're gonna have
pork.
to translate that.
With pork. What I'm saying is the Ghana kinky has a perfect texture. It doesn't stick in your palm, right? So kinky that sticks in your palm, that's not good kinky. You know, kinky that you must be able to mold with your fingers. You know, it comes together perfectly. You dip it into the pepper, perfect. And we're gonna have that with straight from the sea to your table fish. You know, freshly caught fish. There's shrimps, there's calamari, and we go and sit somewhere nice with chilled beers and chilled drinks. If it's palm wine you want, why not? You know, we actually have a lot of fun. You know, so I'm excited. So December, we'll do about 2 more.
Great.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. That's
so
awesome.
let's collaborate on that.
Great.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to join. I don't like kenke.
You don't like kenke?
No.
Ivy, how are we friends? No, you've just had bad kenke. Just say it. If you've had bad kenke, to put you off kenke, right?
No, I don't like the fermented thing. No.
Yeah, some people over ferment, and it gives it a very sour taste, you know.
But I can
You should try mine.
I can do iced kenke because there's sugar added to that.
Okay.
And it can-
Okay. All right.
So you're telling me to give it another try?
Please,
Try-
at least
try
try
yours.
that one, and then you can come to a final conclusion. I really don't like kenke. What about banku?
Oh, all right. No, I'm not really no. But you know what's funny? I like ugali in Kenya.
Ah, but that's okay. It's just that it's not fermented. That's all.
Not fermented
Yeah.
at all. I liked ugali.
Oh, that's like that's a clan basically. Akple, the ewe
one.
Yeah. Because that's also
I'm
not.
Ewe, so hey, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me your time today.
Thank you,
I
Ivy.
appreciate
This was
it.
fun.
And the ramen. I'll be back. Thank you now.
Thank you, Ivy.
Come to Essis and have some good food because this is food heaven.
See you guys.
Keep it coming, so you spiral. Yeah, we keep it coming. Yeah, we keep it